today we bring you the third edition of AFEX, the Africa Business Forum and Expo in Istanbul. This event is organized under the umbrella of TABA, which is called the Turkish African Business Association. This event brings together public and private sector leaders from around the world, international and government representatives, and investors from around the world. It aims to build strategic partnerships and lay the foundation for sustainable trade opportunities. More than 200 companies are represented here today from over 50 African countries, and ministers from these African countries are expected to attend. We have countries like Uganda, Benin, South Sudan, Ghana, and even much more. Now, Turkish investments have exceeded $10 billion across Africa, and this event aims to move these numbers even forward.
His Excellency Governor of Istanbul, Mr. Davutgül, His Excellency Deputy Minister of Trade, dear diplomats, ambassadors, international sectoral leaders, everybody who has come from 40 different countries to this event, I would like to thank you for being a part of this organization. So far, Turkish African Business Association has done very interesting things in the past. And what I can say is, actually I'd like to start and say, once upon a time, in 2009, when we first started this journey, my first visit was to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And this visit was so fascinating that I said, I am going to dedicate the rest of my life to business relationships and to develop business relationships between Turkey and Africa. At the time, Turkish-African business relations were in such a point that with the 54 countries in Africa, our trade volume was $4.5 billion. Now, with the vision of our president, this $4.5 billion in 2009 has become $41.7 billion as of last year. Now, that shows us what the relations and the trade, the volume was in the past and what it became at the moment. Turkish embassies are now in 42 different African states. Turkish Airlines flies to 67 different destinations, as I mentioned. And within this partnership, within what we have done in the past, now Turkey has done over $20 billion of direct investment in Africa. These are by Turkish companies. Also, there are $85 billion worth of constructions that are being constructed at the moment in different places in Africa. Now, what does this show us? China has $200 billion worth of trade volume, but Turkey has been increasing so fast that it shows all of us we need to build on these partnerships. We need to look at it in a different perspective. Turkey is different because we look at it as a win-win strategy, not just for Turkey, but also for our partners in Africa. And to, let's say, enhance this strategy, there's a saying in, I don't know if you've heard, our President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has also mentioned this. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go fast, you go together. So this is very important. If you want to go fast, you go together. This is what we have been trying to do as TABA in the past. And there's also a saying in East Africa, in Swahili actually, they say, Twende tufanye mabadiliko. Maybe there are some people who speak Swahili. It means let's go make a change. Thank you very much for everybody to be a part of this event. And I'd like to welcome you and leave the stage. Thank you.
Excellencies, honorable ministers, distinguished protocol members, respected members of the business community, ladies and gentlemen, valued members of the press. I would like to express my sincere regards and gratitude to you all on this meaningful day as we stand together around our common values of peace, cooperation, and sustainable development. It's a great honor and privilege to be with you today at the opening of AFEX 2025, supported by and organized by TABA, in line with the long-term brotherhood and shared vision between Africa and Turkey. Inspired by this strong vision, which enables new opportunities for Africa-Turkey relations, we are committed to unite as partners, working together to build a brighter and better shared future for our common goals. Since the establishment in 2012, TABA, Turkish African Business Association, worked to strengthen economic, commercial, and cultural relationships between Turkey and Africa. In 2016, TABA's Africa-focused activities were institutionalized with the support of the Presidency of Republic of Turkey. The following year, our first international office, TABA Mauritania office, was officially opened during His Excellency President Erdogan's visit to Mauritania. The establishment of 44 embassies across the continent and the Turkish Airlines direct flights to 67 destinations in Africa has transformed Istanbul into a natural hub for the trade and export location between Asia, Africa, and Europe. AFEX is not only a platform for trade and investment, it's a multidimensional initiative that supports knowledge, sharing technology, youth entrepreneurship, renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, digital transformation, and the green economy. The partnerships to be formed here will rise on solid foundations, built on the principles of co-creation, shared growth, and mutual benefit, helping us overcome our shared challenges by combining our strengths. We believe that the combination of Turkey's industrial engineering and technological infrastructure with Africa's dynamic young population and rich natural resources will create a new and even more fair balance in global economy. As the Turkish business community, we believe that our ability to meet the needs of African investors will discourage them from searching for alternative markets, and in doing so, further strengthen Turkey's commercial presence across the continent. Dear participants, our major goal is to build sustainable, fair, and transparent partnerships based on mutual respect and trust, guided by the win-win principle. As Turkish business professionals, we are always ready to share our experience as a reliable partner in Africa's development journey. We are not only aiming for economic growth, we are aiming for mutual prosperity and fair development. While ending my words, I extend my gratitude to all institutions, stakeholders, and especially my dedicated team members whose efforts made AFEX 2025 happen. I hope this event brings meaningful, beneficial, and inspiring outcomes for our nations and our countries. Let us not forget, source of our strength is our unity. Together we are stronger, together we will succeed. Together we will achieve the most distant goals. I look forward to meeting again in AFEX 2026, and I would like to thank you for being with us today.
Alors, distinguées personnalités, en vos rangs, titres et grades respectifs, bonjour. Je suis Roland Somda, ministre des Sports, de la Jeunesse et de l'Emploi du Burkina Faso. Je suis en mission officielle ici avec une délégation à qui je vais demander à ceux qui sont présents dans la salle de se mettre debout pour que vous puissiez les voir. Voilà. Merci beaucoup et nous sommes très ravis d'être associés, d'être présents à ce forum. Alors, Alors, mesdames et messieurs les ministres, distinguées personnalités, mesdames et messieurs, le Burkina Faso souhaite ici exprimer ses sincères félicitations aux organisateurs de Africa Business Forum and Expo, édition 2025, pour cette belle occasion de présenter son dynamisme et son potentiel économique. Réaffirmant son profond engagement et sa vision très claire, mon pays, le Burkina Faso, prend part à ce grand rendez-vous d'échanges et d'opportunités, preuve d'un partenariat stratégique en marche entre le Burkina Faso et la République de Turquie. Le thème de ce forum, qui fait la part belle à l'Afrique, incarne notre conviction que la connectivité numérique et physique associée à des investissements stratégiques constitue la voie royale vers la réussite collective. L'Afrique, avec ses jeunes talents, ses richesses naturelles et ses marchés en expansion, est définitivement une terre d'opportunités exceptionnelles pour des investisseurs audacieux. Distingués partenaires, mesdames et messieurs, le Burkina Faso, pays au cœur de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, bénéficie d'un positionnement stratégique, d'un marché intérieur dynamique et d'un environnement économique en croissance. En 2024, notre pays, le Burkina Faso, a enregistré une croissance économique de 5,1%, portée par des secteurs clés tels que l'agriculture et les mines. Pour faciliter l'investissement au Burkina Faso, nous avons entrepris plusieurs réformes. Notre objectif est clair: devenir la destination privilégiée pour les investisseurs souhaitant bénéficier d'un environnement propice, d'un coût compétitif et d'un marché en pleine expansion. Plusieurs projets innovants ont déjà vu le jour grâce à un partenariat gagnant-gagnant avec les hommes d'affaires d'ici et d'ailleurs. Nous croyons fermement que le potentiel de croissance est immense, notamment dans l'éducation, la digitalisation, l'agriculture, la santé, l'économie verte et même l'industrie du sport. Le domaine des sports, dont la responsabilité et les orientations stratégiques m'ont été confiées par son Excellence le camarade Ibrahim Traoré, président du Faso, chef de l'État, n'aime pas en reste. En effet, l'une des priorités est de faire de l'industrie du sport une réalité au Burkina Faso. Toute chose qui passe nécessairement par le développement des infrastructures sportives, un secteur d'opportunité qui peut intéresser certains d'entre vous ici. Distinguées personnalités, mesdames et messieurs, le Burkina Faso accueille des investisseurs qui génèrent des emplois, des investissements qui génèrent des emplois, favorisent l'innovation et contribuent au développement durable. Fort de cela, le pays des hommes intègres lance un appel à tous les partenaires ici présents à travers ces termes. Unissons nos forces pour concrétiser nos ambitions. Investissez au Burkina Faso, faites partie de cette aventure courageuse et ensemble, bâtissons une Afrique prospère, connectée et résiliente. Je vous remercie.
Tell us about your company and what you do, and what this event signifies for the company at large.
Okay, first of all, my name is Selma and I'm from EPSA, Insulation and Chemical Constructions. We are specialized in chemical constructions. I can include ceramic adhesives, joint fillers. Okay, actually we are a manufacturer in Bursa, Turkey, and we are working and doing this industry over 25 years. So we are specialized in this product, ceramic adhesives, growing products, thermal insulation solutions, and waterproofing product solutions too. So we are here to bring a safety to your buildings, and we are so happy to be here at AFEX 25. So we wish we can have with the African market a good partnership. Yes, we wish we can have opportunities and a partnership with the African market.
I'd like you to, tell us about the progress that has been made since your first meeting with Mr. Fatih. And as someone coming from Kenya, how the relationship and the trade relationships between Kenya and Turkey has fared over the years up till now.
Yes. So first of all, Assalamu alaikum to all of you. My name is Shahid Yaqub, Managing Director of Moto Africa Limited, and also here in official capacity as the Vice President of the International Mehmet Organization, which is a business-oriented community all over the world. And my purpose, the reason why I'm here today, is because Brother Fatih personally came to Kenya and personally gave his invitation and pulled me to come for this event. And the main reason and purpose of that was we are actually looking at coming up with an agreement with TABA, Turkish African Business Association, with my organization, whereby we will do the MOU where we are connecting the business people between TABA and the Mehmet community all over the world. So this is basically like a follow-up on the meeting we had in Kenya, and also because it was a personal invitation from Brother Fatih, I couldn't miss it out. And definitely I would like to say that to all my people in Kenya, East Africa rather, Uganda, Tanzania, everyone, you may have missed this one, don't miss the next one. That is something I can say for a fact. The type of companies are here, the type of products are here, the type of people that are here, the type of connections that you're getting. I want to tell even the whole Mehmet community, after this MOU is done, please take advantage of it, connect to business people. I want to tell the TABA people as well, that the Mehmet community is a business-oriented community, so take advantage of our business acumen as well, and we are spread all over the world. So it's a win-win situation for everyone, basically. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for granting us this interview. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And I've had a wonderful time. I mean, Turkish people are known for their hospitality. I've really loved it. I'll be staying here for a few more days. And I'm really looking forward to this MOU starting off and the B2B connections happening. It's something that I'm really passionate about, something that I've envisioned, is that governments work to build the economy and everything, but what we are looking at is community-based empowerment. So empowering businesses using community connections, using association connections, B2B connections, networking. That, in my opinion, is what actually builds the economy. So that is what we are really working on, and I'm really proposing and enthusiastic to do this thing. Yeah.
the most important thing here is this event has been established by Turkish African Business Association, which has been in Africa actively since 2009. Now, we have organized over 200 events between Turkey and Africa. This is the largest, our signature event. This year is the third edition. What happened last year at AFEX? We have organized a business deal to be closed between a Turkish company here and a Ugandan company. They are jointly venturing on a business that is over $5 million to establish initially. So this is one of the major things that has happened last year. Another project was signed about cybersecurity last year. Another project related to building stadiums have been talked about. We are hoping for it to grow and get it to next. Now, all of these activities, of course, we try to track. But what we have done is we have, by doing all these organizations, we have organized an awareness. We have supported an awareness between Turkish companies and African companies, between Turkish government and African governments. So we try to, as much as possible, suggest Turkish companies to go visit Africa, different countries. Initially, you know, there were companies in Turkey that thought Africa was just one country. This is, I'm talking about 2008, 2009. Now coming today, many companies have experts working on the Middle East or working on the continent. What does that show us? The awareness has come to a different level. The trade volume between Turkey and Africa from 2009 until now, $4.5 billion up to $41.7 billion. So that shows we are buying now and we are selling. I've just talked to the Minister of Trade, Deputy Minister of Trade, and he said our president has a directive saying we should focus more on buying coffee from Africa, and he named a few countries. So that's definitely something that in the agenda of the Turkish government, to buy more from Africa, to sell more to Africa, to engage more business relationships, to collaborate more. In the beginning, many companies were just only in the idea of selling, but now they're understanding more what's going on locally, and they're trying to come up with different ways of settling, different ways of doing business together. Initially, this way of thinking has helped a lot to understand local needs, and these companies come up with models to go and implement it in different regions in Africa. So we are also actively, every year maybe 4 or 5 seminars we organize, we actively try to train Turkish companies, their international business development managers, their CEOs, to understand different regions in Africa, to understand what to do. Because you know, there are different tariffs, different strategies in different countries. So once you understand what's going on locally, now you can partner up with a local to produce locally, to bring the technology, to bring the know-how, or to bring a factory to produce together. Because it helps with logistics, it helps with taxation, and once something is produced locally, it's usually protected by governments so that the jobs are still being kept. So, I mean, we have dedicated, as TABA, we have dedicated our last 15 years on expanding, helping, supporting the Turkish-African business relations as much as possible, and we try to do so as every day goes by.
Thank you very much, sir, for granting us this interview. That was a very explicit one, and we are grateful.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for having me, and hope to be more collaborating in the future.
I was born in Libya. I lived in South Africa for 12 years, and I lived in Nigeria for 8 years. I've been in Africa for the last 25 years. It's actually more than half of my lifetime. So what we are doing here, we are sharing our experience in Africa with Turkish business people and our experience in Turkey with African business people. So we are kind of doing like matchmaking between the cultures because it's not easy for a Turkish businessman to go and directly start business in Africa, because it's totally different story. And it's not easy for African men, African business people to come and trust some white man in Turkey and start doing business. Because we know there's been like 500 years of tragedy, pain, like troublesome years. So it's not easy for African people to trust, especially in business, because everything is scarce. So they have little money, they have little resources, so they don't want to waste it. So what we are doing here, we are saying, as AFEX with TABA under the TABA, we have the know-how. Like Turkish Republic is over 100 years. We also went through tough times, but now we developed ourselves in industry. We have good engineers, we have good business ecosystem. So we are ready to share this with African brothers and sisters. So you do not have to waste so much time to develop. We already have it. We are ready to share. We are ready to pass the know-how, knowledge, experience. We are even ready to train the local people. So just we need to get together. We need to combine our powers, and then we can move forward faster. So this is what it's all about. We do in TABA.
Definitely. Thank you very much, sir. And we are grateful that TABA is doing so much for the African continent. One final question. What would you like to say to the African people? Because we have 49 African countries watching us. We broadcast here from Turkey, but they watch us in 49 African countries. So we would just like you to say a word to them.
Well, we have a long last brotherhood with African people. We have been in Africa as Ottoman Empire before, but in the more like Northern Africa. But Sub-Saharan Africa has a huge potential. It has a huge potential of population, young generation. So we just need to help them to get trained, get like abilities or work, because I know things are tough, especially in Sub-Saharan Africa. So we are willing to assist our brothers and sisters anyhow. So we just need volunteers to join, to get into this ship that we are in, and sooner or later it will help mutually on both sides to develop the relationships, business, economy, education. Once the train is on the rail, everything will grow gradually. So we just need the consent, and okay, there are some alternative markets that African people, especially in some African markets, which is price oriented, they go to Far East. Okay, it's cheap, but they don't teach you how to do it. They don't allow you to produce it locally in your country. But we are not saying that. We are saying, come, let's do it together. We build it for you, we train you, and today, okay, it might be a little bit expensive than the Eastern products, but sooner or later, this will be your own local production with your own local stuff, which means your economy will benefit from it, your country will benefit from it, and your government and people will benefit from it because of the employment. So this is a big picture. We are trying to develop something really good, and I hope we will succeed.
You're welcome, sir. I'd like you to, tell us what the relationship between Rwanda and Turkey has been, and what do you hope to see as the aftermath of this event?
The relationship between Turkey and Rwanda is really very good political level relations. And earlier this year in January, our president was here, and he had an official visit where he had a discussion with his counterpart here, and even signed 4 MOUs which are going on. We started implementing, including political level cooperation, diplomatic cooperation in finance, economic, in education, and health, ICT, many areas. And of course, even the cooperation is not very old. Our diplomatic relations go as early as 2013. That's when we established an embassy here, and the Turkish side established an embassy in Rwanda in 2014. And you know, if you go to Kigali, you find that the face of Kigali is changing because of the Turkish companies' involvement. You know, I've had construction companies engaging in constructing a national stadium in Rwanda, Beka Arena, as well as a conventional center. So, in short, we have very, very good relations, and the relations are deepening. You know. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. One last question. This event, we know, it brings together diplomats, it brings together investors, people from the private and the public sector. What do you hope to see from the aftermath of this event?
I mean, this event is very important. It's my first time to attend, and you know, I came to see for myself. It's been there, as they were telling us, since 2012, but I've been here for just 1 year. So this is my first time to attend, and already I see very interesting things. I'm interested in looking at small and medium scale industries, these type of industries which are ready to partner with our own industries back home to invest. So definitely at the end of this event, which is ends tomorrow, I will have engaged some players here and potentially identified those to hook them up with the partners from my country in order to do some investment, but also trade, because you know we do a lot of trade, and you know, I will work with the participants mechanisms through which we shall engage and into trade.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Nous voulons vous demander de vous représenter. Et après, nous voulons vous demander, comment vous avez vu cette forum, AFEX forum, qui se passe entre la Turquie et la France?
Okay. Merci. Moi, je suis Monsieur Kayembe Patrick Soumpi. Je suis directeur général adjoint de l'Institut national de préparation professionnelle en République démocratique du Congo. J'ai trouvé la participation à ce forum très intéressant, d'autant plus que nos différents pays et les différents invités présentent des opportunités d'affaires qu'on peut retrouver dans leur pays, et comment la République de Turquie peut venir investir dans ces différents pays et participer à l'éclosion économique.
Merci. Nous pouvons vous demander encore une autre question. Je pense que vous avez passé dans plusieurs formes différentes partout dans le monde. Et comment vous avez trouvé ce forum? Est-ce que ce forum se sont utiles pour les pays ou bien?
Oui, moi je trouve que ce forum, ça regroupe plusieurs pays. Ce n'est pas seulement les Turcs, c'est aussi, j'ai vu le Burkina Faso passer. Il y a d'autres pays, il y a les Anglais, il y a les Français. Ça regroupe vraiment plusieurs pays. Et j'ai vu aussi des Togolais. Et pour moi, c'est une grande opportunité.
C'est une grande opportunité à la fois diplomatique et commerciale, je pense. Merci.
Effectivement, c'est une grande opportunité diplomatique et commerciale.
So we would like to, ask you, what has been the relationship between Zimbabwe and Turkey in general, and how do you think this relationship, trade relationships, can be moved forward?
As you are aware that we opened an embassy, physical presence, here in Turkey in 2019. So we are 6 years with a diplomatic presence in this country. When we came in 2019, around October, unfortunately end of 2019, beginning of 2020, we had COVID. So we're still setting up infrastructure in Ankara, where our embassy is located. But nevertheless, we managed to make very valuable contacts through various chambers of commerce here in the various cities and provinces of Turkey. We have managed to do a lot of economic diplomacy, economic trade with Turkish companies. And when we came in 2019, our volume of trade between Zimbabwe and Turkey was around $19 million only. And as we stand to you right now, we are at 46 million US dollars. So you can judge from that almost 3 times, increment in the way we've been doing business in Turkey. So far it has been good. So a platform like this, organized by the Turkish Africa Business Association, for us it's a big game changer, because our companies, our people are able to reach out to Turkish companies and vice versa. So we place a lot of value, economic value, people-to-people relationship in this kind of interaction.
Definitely. Thank you very much, sir, for that. I want to actually, ask about specific sectors like energy, finance, and agriculture. Turkey is investing in Africa. With Zimbabwe, as one of the big countries in Africa, how do you hope to see these specific these specific sectors being developed?
Zimbabwe is a developing country. Zimbabwe right now is looking specifically for infrastructure development. And the fact that we opened an embassy in 2019 means that my president, His Excellency President Mnangagwa, had seen that we need the assistance of Turkey business people to come into my country. The major sector which we are looking at right now is road construction. We are also building houses, accommodation. We are also building schools. We are also building clinics and a lot of other infrastructure, including major dams. We are also looking at the energy sector, because right now within the Southern Africa Development Community, mostly of the countries in Southern Africa, we experience a lot of electricity deficit. We have a challenge in generating electricity. For the past 2 years or so, we had a major drought in Zimbabwe, because most of our 90% of our water, of our energy generation comes from hydroelectricity power. But when we don't get rains, we don't have enough electricity. So the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe is now looking into investing in solar technology. And there's no better place to come except to Turkey, because the climate, the weather pattern is almost similar. We have winter, we have summer, lots of heat almost throughout the whole year. And we feel that when we partner with Turkish companies, we are able to do business. As an embassy, we have been able to reach out a number of companies here in Turkey who are into solar production. And I can assure you that within the coming 1 year, 12 months, 24 months, we will be energy self-sufficient because of the partnership which are developing between Zimbabwean companies and Turkish companies in the energy sector. We are also very much happy in the way we are also cooperating in the agricultural sector. Zimbabwe is an agricultural economy, and as a result, the benefits which we now see accruing between the partnership of Turkish agricultural companies, those manufacturing agricultural equipment, is also very good for us. We are importing a lot of tractors from Turkish companies based in Konya, and they are bringing all that technology to Zimbabwe. And for that, we are very grateful. And for your own information, we are now wheat self-sufficient for the past 2 years. because of this exchange in technology with tech companies.
Bon, bonjour tout le monde, moi c'est Mathurin de Santos Bakourou, je suis entrepreneur au Sénégal. Donc ce fut aujourd'hui avec un grand plaisir qu'on participe à AFEX, d'où on a eu l'occasion de rencontrer des partenaires turcs, mais également des exposants qui viennent d'autres pays. Nous avons également eu l'occasion de rencontrer le ministre des Sports et de la Jeunesse du Burkina Faso, qui veut vraiment également nous accompagner par rapport à tout ce qui est démarche entrepreneuriale pour évoluer les écosystèmes entrepreneuriaux des Africains. Donc aujourd'hui, on est très content de participer à AFEX et ça nous fait vraiment plaisir de représenter l'Afrique, de représenter le Sénégal, bien sûr. Donc merci à vous et bien des choses à AFEX et à la Turquie.
So as you're coming as a representative for the Algerian community, so I'd like to ask you what you think, will come out from this program and how Algeria and Turkey can work together.
Premièrement, je tiens à remercier l'équipe de AFEX de m'avoir honoré de cette présence et de représenter mon pays, l'Algérie. Bien sûr, l'Algérie et la Turquie, c'est deux pays qui dépassent la fraternité grâce à des liens historiques et aussi dans le cadre du développement mutuel qui est tracé par son Excellence le Président M. Abdelmajid Tebboune et son Excellence Monsieur le Président Recep Tayyip Erdogan dans le développement et dans l'instauration des partenariats économiques efficients et dans le cadre de la machine économique à suivre qui va être avec la conjoncture internationale mondiale. Le partenariat algéro-turc a apporté ses fruits et a déjà instauré d'énormes projets en Algérie et on voit d'ailleurs la présence des sociétés turques en Algérie dans plusieurs secteurs, notamment le bâtiment, l'industrie et même dernièrement l'agriculture.
Thank you very much, Ma, for granting us this interview once again, and I hope to see more of the Algerian and Turkey-African relationships. So thank you very much.
C'est à moi de vous remercier et pour cette édition de AFEX qui a été très réussie et qui a été un carrefour international dédié pour l'Afrique et notamment l'Algérie. Merci pour votre soutien et votre honoreuse participation.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. I'd like to, hear what from you about the relationship between Turkey and specifically Nigeria and how you think that this event can benefit the Nigerian people locally, not just internationally.
Well, I want to start first by thanking the people and government of Turkey for the excellent relations that between Nigeria and Turkey. Like you know, there's no history of colonialism between Turkey and Africa. That in itself promotes positive sentiments. And you also do not require us to look like you or behave like you before we do business with you, unlike some countries or some regions do. So in all this, it has been of mutual respect, and the business is growing very well. And our people are quite comfortable to use Turkey products. Like you see, Turkey has high standards, European standards, at a lesser price, and that in itself is also a major attraction. And that's why the current position that the trade is below $5 billion is not true. Because most of the products, when they leave Turkey, they go to Dubai for transshipment and labeling to meet our NAFTA requirements. So those are not counted as part of product coming between Turkey and Nigeria. If you go to every Nigerian home, there's hardly a home, even in my house, I have Turkey products, whether from building or home appliances. So what I'm saying in all this is, Turkey is in every sector. They are in defense, They are in building of drones in Nigeria. They are also in the power sector. They are building pipelines. So there's almost no sector where you don't have Turkey. And the business is growing further and further and was strong. And we are working towards this. Part of my job at Nigerian Turkey Business Council is to make it easier for businesses from Turkey to easily establish in Nigeria. And we are doing that. We call the time. We also help people when you have established, when you have challenges, we help you cut down the regulatory issues and also engage our governments and agencies to make sure it is easier for you to do business in Nigeria. So I would say it's excellent, business is good, and the opportunities are huge. China currently made 282 billion every year from Africa, and Turkey is under 40 million. I think we can do more. Well, that just shows you the potential. We have not even scratched the ground, and that is why we are here, not just only to see, but to walk the talk and make sure that most of these conferences turn to positive businesses for our boat people. And we're also here to invest. We're not just only to buy, we're also looking at opportunity to invest here and see. And we have huge people in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the few countries in Africa where their own citizens control the economy. So we have people with deep pockets, and we're also ready to invest in Turkey.
I'd like to ask you what you think the relationship between Turkey and Nigeria has been in specific sectors like infrastructure, food, and agriculture.
Turkey and Nigeria have a very good relationship since the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. In terms of food, that is in the area of agriculture, Nigeria and Turkey are working in the production of fertilizers, in the area of promoting quality processing and packaging and transportation of food, agricultural produce. Do not forget that Turkey imports a lot of agricultural products from Nigeria, and in support of that, I can recall 2 months ago a delegation from Nigeria was here with the support of World Trade Organization to learn the best practices in terms of the production and processing of especially sesame seeds. So we are doing good, and a lot of things have been done. And there is also cooperation we are trying to work on through TICA to ensure that Turkey is able to cooperate more with Nigeria in terms of technical cooperation and technical support to improve agricultural production in Nigeria.
Definitely, thank you, sir. I mean, it's great to also see the progress over the years. So in the future, what do you hope to see, like generally between these two countries?
What we are expecting is greater collaboration in terms of processing and packaging of foods, to make sure that the relationships has gone higher to the extent that foods are produced in Nigeria, processed, packaged, export to Turkey, just as products from Turkey, that finished products that are packaged, traded between the two countries. And we believe doing that will help our economy. And as you are aware, this program brought more than about 50 business people from Nigeria, and we from the embassy are here to show that yes, Nigeria is ready to do business with Turkey, and that Nigerian business people are not coming here alone. They are here with the full backing of the Nigerian government, and we will support and do everything possible to make sure that business between Turkey and Nigeria progressed and reached the level that it is supposed to reach.